Hey sis, hey. You are tuned into 101 TKO Radio, and this is the She Wins Show with your favorite coach, Andromeda. Coming to you live every Tuesday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you information, inspiration, entertainment, and the game plan to win in life and business. I really hope that everybody is having a great day today. I hope that everybody is getting into that Christmas spirit. I had to play my girl Mariah Carey this morning for us to get into the spirit, right? I feel like this time of year, there's no better time of year to just really be feeling hopeful and encouraged, allowing yourself to dream and have an imagination. I know that also this time of year is a time where we're feeling a lot of pressure, right? To get ready for the new year. Everybody's talking about finishing the year strong. But I also want to encourage us to make sure that we are enjoying this time, right? This time of year is where I feel like things kind of slow down a little bit, right? Slow down a little bit at work, slow down a little bit in business. This is time where you can, take time to reflect on your life, take time to celebrate your achievements. We're always constantly on the go, right? Like that's why I think that as adults, we say to ourselves all the time, like time is flying. Like where did the year go? When we were kids, it seemed like years were like decades, right? Like it took forever to get to our next birthday. But as adults, it seems like these years are flying by. And I think it's because we are constantly like under this pressure to get things done. We're constantly trying to move, push, get to the next thing. And we're not taking enough time to be present. We're not taking enough time to celebrate our wins and our achievements. We're not taking enough time to love on ourselves and love on those who love us. We're just not taking enough time to really live life. So I want to talk about that on today's show. Age ain't nothing but a number. We're getting into this conversation about why age is not as serious as sometimes we make it, right? As women specifically, a lot of us are looking at this clock, right? We are telling ourselves we have to reach certain goals by a certain age or it's not going to be possible for us. And I just really love that we are seeing women defy these odds every single day. We are seeing women who are giving us hope that even though we might be older than 30 or older than 40 or older than 50, all the things that we want are still possible for us. So that is what we're going to be talking about today. But before we get into that, I definitely want to give us some news, right? About some things that are going on in the world, some entertainment news, some world news. So I want to talk about this. We just played All I Want for Christmas Is You. Everybody knows this song. We know that Mariah Carey owns Christmas, right? Like this is her time of the year. She's going to pop out. She's going to have some music. Like we might not hear nothing from Mariah all year long, but when Christmas comes around, sis said, this is my time. You're going to hear from me. And so I want to talk about this because our sis is being sued, y'all. She is being sued by musician Andy Stone in a California court for $20 million, y'all, because he says that she is infringing on his copyright. Okay, so apparently this song is maybe not as original as we thought. This person actually has sued Mariah more than once. The first suit he ended up letting it drop, but now he's bringing it back. So country singer Andy Stone has filed a copyright lawsuit claiming that Carey plagiarized his song, which happens to go by the same name. There is actually another All I Want for Christmas Is You, y'all. Did y'all know that? I know I didn't know that. He originally recorded and released a track called All I Want for Christmas Is You with his band. And he's looking to make at least $20 million in damages from the lawsuit, adding a contentious note to the beginning of this festive season for Carey. People, you know what? That's I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of this lawsuit, but it's giving Grinch for me. Like, oh, why don't try to steal the Christmas Mariah Carey shine on Christmas? But if there is a leg to stand on with this lawsuit, I mean, I can't even be mad at them. But it says this is the first time that Carey has had to deal with this lawsuit, or this isn't the first time, rather, that Carey has had to deal with the lawsuit over All I Want for Christmas Is You. In fact, this is not the first time she's dealt with this person, as I mentioned, Stone. This musician initiated a similar lawsuit over the same tune last year, though he ultimately withdrew the case, apparently only to try it again a year later. So, sis is being sued. Apparently, their song came out in 1988. Well, they penned it in 1988 and subsequently recorded it and released the following year. Carey's single came out in 1994. So apparently that's what they're saying. So we're going to keep Mariah in our prayers for Christmas because we know our sister's trying to enjoy her time. And being who she is, I'm just believing she's still singing around her house and minding her good business and not letting this thing stress her out. Okay. The Grinch will not steal Mariah Carey's Christmas. All right. So that's our entertainment news for today. I also want to tell you what today's day of the year is, our national day of the year. And it's International Volunteer Day, which I think is again awesome. We've talked in previous shows about the importance of sowing seeds around this time of year. I mean, of course, we want to sow seeds all times of the year, but this time of year is a time to really give back, put forth that good positive energy in preparation for a new year. So today is International Volunteer Day for Economic and Social Development, also referred to as International Volunteer Day. December 5th celebrates people and organizations who volunteer their time and energy to improve the lives of others. Along with recognizing volunteers, this day also aims to invigorate volunteerism. Every act of volunteerism is an act of kindness. It's a way to pay it forward without expecting anything in return. It's a gesture of peace and goodwill. Volunteers genuinely understand the saying, it's more blessed to give than to receive. Have you ever wondered what our world would be like without volunteers? That's a good question. Have you ever wondered what the world would be like without people who generously give their time, energy, and efforts without expecting anything in return? People who are genuinely just out here in the world trying to make life better for other people. Have you ever considered what the world would be like if everybody was just self-serving, focusing on their self and their own success? I think the world would be a lot darker than it is today. So shout out to the volunteers. Shout out to the people who are just literally waking up every day doing their best to make life better for others. Shout out to you. You deserve all of your flowers while you can still smell them. Volunteers often act as a voice for the voiceless. Volunteers lend a helping hand to those in desperate need. Volunteers help charities and nonprofits going strong. So how can you, this is a good thing to know too. There are 970 million volunteers throughout the world. 970 million. That's really good. I mean, there's a lot of people in the world, but 970 million I think is a good number. And we can always use more, y'all. But how can you observe International Volunteer Day? First is if you volunteer, take time to reflect on the achievements of your organization. Remember I said earlier that we don't take enough time to celebrate our achievements. We don't take enough time to celebrate ourselves, right? In those moments when we are discouraged or feeling defeated about life, like life is just lifing, like we have to take more time to say, like, but look what I've overcome. Look what I've achieved. Like, every season of life may not be where you're consistently winning, but you have so much to celebrate. The fact that you've overcome so many challenges, the fact that you've achieved so many things, the fact that you've done so many things you set out to do, like celebrate that. So if you are a volunteer, take time to give yourself a pat on the back, sis. Okay, pat yourself on the back, celebrate your accomplishments. Also, you can ask yourself how you can have a positive impact on your community. So a lot of us are people who, if we're honest, we sit around talking about a lot of problems in the world. We don't actually make an effort to fix them, right? We're waiting for somebody else to come along and to be that volunteer or to be that voice for the voices or to be that advocate or to be that person who's going to be in the streets fighting for other people's rights. So if you have been having conversations with family, friends, coworkers about things that are bothering you in the world, things that you would like to see improvement upon, I want to challenge you today to be the change that you want to see. Go out into the world and start making a positive impact where you are. And that could begin with just your family. It could begin with your friendship circle. It could begin at your job. It could begin in your community. But make an effort to make a positive impact in the world. Like all of us have the power to create change, and when we're all collectively working to create change, that's when we see a greater impact occur. So we all have the power to do that. If you don't currently volunteer, seek out a service organization and learn more about them. Offer your time or skills. There are thousands of service organizations with a variety of needs. If you're not sure where to get started, most communities need volunteers in these areas: food pantries, local libraries, animal rescue shelters, hospitals, national parks, and retirement homes. There are also websites designed to help you find volunteer opportunities in your area. A few sites include volunteermatch.org and allforgood.org. Okay, so check these out. Again, nothing feels better to me than being able to help somebody who is less fortunate, being able to use my gifts, my skills, my talents in order to positively impact others without the expectation of getting anything returned. But I do know that God is not mocked. So whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. So I also know that no good deed that I ever do is ever in vain. And even though I'm not expecting anything in return from those who I'm giving to, I trust and believe that God is going to bless me for my efforts. And so if you have been feeling, again, discouraged in this season, defeated in this season, feeling like you didn't accomplish all that you wanted to accomplish in 2023, if you feel like you could be doing more, volunteer. That is a great way to end the year and begin the new year, is by sowing seeds into fertile soil and allowing this generosity of your heart to reap abundant blessings. All right. So I definitely want to encourage us on that today. Speaking of, changing the world and making your mind to do so, I saw this headline about Daddy Yankee, and I thought it was really, really cool. If you're not familiar who Daddy Yankee is, he is known for his hits such as Gasolina, and he is part of the reggaeton community. Okay, so the headline reads, Daddy Yankee says goodbye to reggaeton to devote his life to his Christian faith. Now, I thought that was really huge because um, many of us struggle with change, right? We struggle with change, one, and we also struggle with not meeting other people's expectations. So, for somebody as popular as Daddy Yankee to say that at this time in his life, even though he's become extremely popular and famous and rich, from being in the reggaeton community and creating music for the reggaeton community, the fact that he's saying that now he is making a switch, a pivot, a change that he feels like is a better change for his life, I feel like it's super inspiring, because how many of us are staying in situations or staying in environments or doing things that we've always done simply because we feel like people expect us to do it, or we are afraid of doing something different, even though our spirit, our soul, everything inside of us is calling us to move differently. We keep doing the same things because we're afraid of change. I feel like this is an inspiring story. So it says, Daddy Yankee, this is from NBC, Daddy Yankee is officially retiring from reggaeton to devote his life to his religious faith, the rapper said, after ending his farewell tour, La Meta, Sunday night in his homeland, Puerto Rico. The 46-year-old singer, we talking about age ain't nothing but a number, y'all. 46 years old, he's making a major life change. Dare I say, even starting over, right? Because if you're going to go from one genre of music to a whole different genre of music, that means that you have to be now accepted by people who are listening to gospel music, right? You have to be accepted by and understood and all of that by these people. So basically, he's totally rebranding himself at 46 years old. Big deal, but he's doing it. 46-year-old singer made the announcement in a lengthy speech following a larger-than-life performance of his global hit Gasolina, a song that marked the beginning of the globalization of reggaeton and catapulted him into mainstream success back in 2004. Y'all, he started in 2004. It is 2023. That's almost 20 years later. The man is starting over and deciding that he wants to do something different. And clearly he's made peace with that. Says, despite traveling the world, winning awards, and being praised by fans worldwide, a part of him felt unfulfilled for a long time. How many of us feeling unfulfilled right now with the stuff we've been doing? He told a cheering crowd of more than 18,000 people at the Coliseo de Puerto Rico, I have to confess those days are over. Someone was able to fill that emptiness, he said. Despite wearing stylish sunglasses on stage, the tears streaming down his face were visible to thousands of fans around the world who watched him closely via live stream. In his message, Daddy Yankee cited this Bible verse in Spanish. What good will it be for a man to gain the whole world, yet forfeit his soul? That is why tonight I recognize and I'm not ashamed to tell the whole world that Jesus lives in me and that I will live for him, the singer said with his hand to the sky. Y'all, that is super duper powerful. Is it not? Like, powerful and inspiring. How many of us are feeling like God is calling us to do something different, something bigger? However, we are again just not moving on it because we're afraid. We're afraid of what people will think. We're afraid of starting over. Let us all take a page out of Daddy Yankee's playbook right this moment and decide that we are going to choose to do what we are called to do, and without the fear of anything, right? It's not too late to start over. It's not too late to do something different. Age really is nothing but a number. And with that, we're going to take a quick break and come right back to continue this conversation, y'all. This is the She Wins Radio Show on 101 TKO Radio. We'll be right back. Hey sis, hey, hey sis, hey. You are tuned into the She Wins radio show on 101 TKO Radio. And we are back after that awesome music break. I hope that y'all was jamming with me on over there. If you are not tuned into 101TKORadio.com, definitely make sure that you tune in so that you can hear the music. I know some of us may be listening or watching live from YouTube or on Facebook. So if it gets quiet for you, that's why you have to tune into the website or tune into the app so that you can hear the music right along with me. But I do thank you for tuning in with me today. So we left off talking about Daddy Yankee, and I wanted to read this quote of his because I felt like it was very powerful before we went to the next topic. And he said, all the tools I have in my possession, such as music, social networks, platforms, a microphone, everything that Jesus gave me is now for his kingdom, he said. Thank you very much, Puerto Rico, and I hope that you walk with me in this new beginning. To all the people who followed me, follow Jesus Christ, who is the way, the truth, and the life, he added. Just like Jesus, with his mercy, allowed me to travel the world in your mercy, Father. I hope you allow me to evangelize the world from Puerto Rico. Amen. So I wanted to share that because again, so many of us are feeling like we are ready for change. We are ready to pivot. We are ready to do something more fulfilling with our lives. And again, we're feeling like we're too old. We're too old to make these changes. And so whatever change is stirring in your spirit right now, I want to encourage you to start making that change, right? And sometimes for other people, that's going to look really crazy. It's going to look really strange. However, again, if it's what you're being called to do, then go for it, sis, because life is short. Now, age ain't nothing but a number, but life is short, right? And I think that all of us have the goal to make the most of our life, right? So if you are at whatever age you are, right, understand that if it's taking you longer to get wherever you're trying to arrive to, if it's taking you longer to find your purpose, if it's taking you longer to buy a house, if it's taking you longer to get married, if it's taking you longer to have children, if it's taking you longer to get a degree, whatever it is that you've been striving to get, you're looking out there in the world and you're saying to yourself, oh, I would like for that to be something that I achieve in my life. If it's taking you longer to get that, I want you to understand that sometimes that's part of the process, right? Sometimes you have to learn certain things. You have to make certain connections. You have to gain certain wisdom. You have to gain certain amount of faith in order for you to be able to achieve those goals. Because once you get them, God wants you to be prepared to be able to sustain them and to do what you were meant to do with them, right? So some of us might be feeling like it's taking longer for us to, again, get that husband or to have that child. And maybe, just maybe, it's not that it's a delay that is meant to make you feel like you will be denied. It's a delay that is preparing you rather for what you're actually praying for. So like Daddy Yankee said, he says, all the tools that I have in my possession, music, social networks, platforms, and microphone, right? He has now found himself on a worldwide stage where now he can glorify God the way that he feels led to glorify God. And so maybe that is the path that God set him on, right? That he would allow him to be able to reach the masses through reggaeton music, only for him to get that platform and be able to speak the words that he powerfully spoke. Oftentimes that is exactly what the plan is, right? That God is setting us up for the greatest success that we are praying for. And we just want to be able to lean into that and do the best we can what we have, trusting that in due time, we will end up exactly where we're meant to be, exactly where God intended us to be. Okay. So that I definitely wanted to share that with us today. And speaking of more time, it's not too late. I definitely wanted to share with you all that it's still possible to get your student loans forgiven, in case you didn't know. All right. So apparently there is a new option or opportunity that Biden is rolling out, a new proposal for student loan relief that will help borrowers with old loans and ballooning interest. So Americans who owe more than they initially took out in student loans, who are low income or enrolled in plans that align payments to borrowers' income, may be among those eligible for debt relief from the federal government, according to a proposal the Education Department published on Monday. The proposal will face a group of negotiators at a two-day meeting next week, bringing President Joe Biden's Plan B for student debt relief into greater focus. This summer, the Supreme Court's conservative supermajority struck down his first proposal, which would have forgiven as much as $400 billion and affected the overwhelming majority of the nation's student loan borrowers. Monday's proposal would affect a narrower group of people, but could still affect millions. It could be a very long time before the proposal becomes reality, however, even if the group discussing the options agrees with them. And should they survive the regulatory process, which may not conclude until after next year's presidential election, they likely must also make it past legal challenges that are almost certain to emerge. They are trying to stop us from getting these student loans forgiven, y'all. But we're going to keep hope alive, right? So if the proposal does survive, it could soften the often crippling effects of loan interest for millions of Americans. Student loans are supposed to be a bridge to better life, not a life sentence of endless debt. That's what the Education Secretary Miguel Cardona said in a statement. So who could get relief? If this proposal does actually go through all the way, you could receive relief if you are a borrower who is affected by interest. For people whose student loans have swelled past the original amount they borrowed because of interest, the department said it will waive up to $20,000 of debt. These borrowers must also be enrolled in an income-driven repayment plan and have an income that is below $125,000 for a single individual or $250,000 as a household. For people who don't meet those standards, relief could still be possible. The department separately proposed waiving up to $10,000 for borrowers who are not enrolled in income-driven repayment, but have also watched interest increase their payments past their original loan amounts. Also, long-time borrowers may be eligible. Americans who started paying back their undergraduate loans 20 years ago could be eligible for one-time relief that waives their outstanding balance. People who haven't enrolled in forgiveness plans, borrowers who qualify for relief plans such as income-driven repayment and public service loan forgiveness, but haven't applied could still get relief. The proposal would provide borrowers with the relief they have earned. And graduates of predatory colleges. The department also expanded the types of predatory colleges that count for student loan relief. So again, I'm all about delivering hope to the people on this good Tuesday. And hope is still alive when it comes to student loan forgiveness. If you have been praying for your loans to be magically erased, keep hope alive, sis. Keep your eye out for this new proposal from the Biden administration. If you'd like to learn more about what I just read to you, you can find this article on USA Today. It's entitled Biden's Student Loan Relief Plan Will Help Borrowers with Old Loans Ballooning Interest. So keep hope alive on the student loans. And I also want to shout out Georgia today because Georgia is giving a lot of small businesses hope, okay? The SBA, yes, shout out to Georgia. In case you didn't know, the SBA delivered over $1.4 billion in funding to Georgia small businesses, y'all. $1.4 billion. That is amazing. Somebody is out here right now feeling like I'm trying to find some money for my business. I'm trying to get some capital for my business. The SBA is out here giving us money, y'all. There is money to be gotten for your business. Okay. So the U.S. Small Business Administration recently announced that the SBA delivered $50 billion in capital, disaster relief, and bonding to small businesses and disaster impacted communities across America in fiscal year 2023. SBA experienced another banner year of lending with increases in its microloan program as well as its flagship 7A loan program, the agency's primary vehicle for providing funding to small businesses. Starting and running a small business takes tremendous grit and determination. We talked about this last week about how entrepreneurship is hard. It takes grit, it takes resilience, it takes perseverance, it takes determination, it takes dedication, it takes commitment, it takes faith, and it takes prayer, and it takes a lot, okay? But it says here on this article from ValdosADayToday.com, it says, starting running business takes tremendous grit and determination, but it also takes capital, something too many enterprising Americans have historically been unable to obtain equitably and affordably, said SBA Administrator Guzman. In fiscal year 2023, the SBA transformed its lending and investment programs and expanded its capital partners to deliver nearly $50 billion in startup growth and recovery capital, as well as surety bonds, including more small business lending to people of color, women, and veterans. Y'all, in Georgia, over 2,000 traditional loans and microloans were approved for nearly $1.4 billion in funding to small businesses throughout the state. Georgia continues to be a great place to start, grow, or launch a small business. If you are not in Georgia, maybe you need to make a move. And so I just really wanted, again, the hope, keeping the hope alive. Speaking of Black-owned businesses, because I know that a lot of my listeners are Black women, in fiscal year 23, the SBA backed 352 loans to Black-owned businesses in Georgia, totaling $128,121,900. Total loans increased by nearly 35%, and total dollars increased by 33% from fiscal year 2022. So listen, if you've been feeling like, again, there's no money out here, if you've been feeling like, maybe you've seen a decrease in sales, that's the conversation that we had in the She Wins Society community just yesterday about how some entrepreneurs have experienced like a drought when it has come to sales and things like that in business. Just know there are other ways for you to get capital for you to carry you over, right? We know that when it comes to business, entrepreneurship, there are seasons of highs and lows, seasons where you're making a lot of money, seasons where money is kind of trickling in, seasons where money is just looking funny as heck and you don't know if you're going to make it to the next season, okay? However, there are opportunities out here for people that will give you business loans, that will give you capital, that will help you to carry you on to the next season until you can figure out what to do. So if you are an entrepreneur, a small business owner right now who, again, is currently just in this a space of figuring out where is this money, where's the next dollar coming from, just know that there are options out there for you, right? Do not give up hope and start to believe that you need to shut down your business because money is looking funny in this particular season. Because listen, in a month, in 30 days, things could totally turn around. So I definitely want to encourage us to be researching grants, researching business loans, researching opportunities to receive capital for our businesses because it's out there. It's the opportunities are out there. And with that, I also want to say this, that I shared with you all in previous shows that within the She Wins Society community, we have monthly challenges, monthly personal growth challenges that help us to develop ourselves, develop in business, just to elevate in life, to build discipline and to become better, in all areas of life. And so this month's challenge is for us to focus on mastering one thing or focusing on improving one specific area of our lives. As a life coach, I have come to understand that oftentimes the very things that we need to improve upon are the things that we avoid, right? Because it's difficult, it's hard. But improving that very thing will improve your entire life, right? And the example that I gave is how sometimes many of us live a cluttered life because we haven't taken time to organize one particular space in our home. For example, for some of us, that could be our garage. Our garage is packed to the ceilings, right? We've got stuff all disorganized in this particular space. However, if we would organize that one space, how much space would it free up in other areas of our home, right? If we could just get clean out these closets, clean out the under the bed, clean out our garage, how much more free, how much more emotionally stable, how much more mentally clear would we feel if our home was less cluttered? And so sometimes, again, that very thing that's that overwhelming task, that task that feels like it's impossible or just too difficult, the thing that we're avoiding dealing with is the very thing that once we deal with it, once we heal it, once we handle it, it will open doors, it will open opportunities, it will help us to feel better, it will help us to live better. And so I want to encourage us to get to this month, whether you are a member of She Wins Society or not, I want to encourage you to write down, think about, reflect on, and write down that one thing that you are going to focus your energy and attention to this month to improve and transform the rest of your life, right? Just choose one thing. Like we spend a lot of time multitasking. We spend a lot of time like crossing off the easy things off our list to make ourselves feel like we're being productive. Meanwhile, avoiding that very thing that would just, again, transform everything for us. And for you, that might be your finances. For you, that might be your health. I'm not sure what it is, but whatever that thing is that has been nagging you, that you've been avoiding, that you know you just need to deal with, or maybe for some of us, it's that you need to learn something, right? Maybe there's a gap in your business. Maybe you're not great at marketing or social media or some specific area of your business that because you don't have that knowledge, because you aren't aware of how this thing works, it's causing you to lose money. It's causing you not be able to make as much money. It's causing you problems. And so why not just take a moment, take this next 30 days before the new year starts to commit to learning what you don't know, to commit to improving the areas that need improving. And I would just say, again, choose one area, just one, so that you don't overwhelm yourself and so that you can actually see growth and progress in that specific area. Because what that's going to do is that's going to motivate you in the new year. It's going to put you in the mindset of understanding that you can do whatever you set your mind to do. And it's also going to give you the confidence to keep doing exactly that, setting these specific goals, focusing on that one thing, seeing growth and progress in that area, and then you can keep duplicating that over and over until you create the life that you desire. So I want to definitely encourage us to do that today. All right. So moving on. How far are we from? Okay, so we're gonna take a quick music break because we're gonna keep continue this conversation about age ain't nothing but a number. I have some other news that's gonna inspire you today. We're gonna just get into this conversation a lot deeper so that you'll be encouraged and empowered to know that you can do all things. It's not too late and you're not too old. Okay, sis, we'll take a quick music break. This is 101 TKO Radio, and you're listening to the She Wins Radio Show. Hey sis, hey, hey sis, hey. You are tuned into 101 TKO Radio, and this is the She Wins Radio Show with your favorite coach, Andromeda. As you know, I come to you every Tuesday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you information, inspiration, entertainment to win in life and in business. So today's topic is age ain't nothing but a number. We have been talking about a host of things that help us to be inspired to understand that as we go along life, we do not need to put this unnecessary pressure on ourselves to reach certain goals by a certain age because life is a journey. And I think most of us can agree to the fact that whatever things we said we would achieve by a certain age in life, most of us are not living that. I know for myself, when I was younger, I said by 30 years old, I would be married. I would have a couple of kids. I'd be settled into my forever home. Like I just imagined this life where like life just I arrive at 30 years old, right? Meanwhile, now I am 37 years old and I purchased my first home when I was 28, I believe. My husband and I ended up moving out of that home, relocating to a whole different city. We have not yet had any children yet. So yeah, life is not looking exactly the way I thought that I was when I was younger, but I am enjoying the journey. I also never thought that I would be an entrepreneur when I was thinking about this version of my life. I didn't see myself being an entrepreneur. I saw myself working some job, rising up in my career to some high level position. Now I could not imagine not being an entrepreneur. I love the absolute freedom that comes with having my own business. And so this journey since I started entrepreneurship has taken me on this just ride of experiencing things I never imagined that I would. And if I really was honest with myself, if I had had a child as early as I thought I was going to have one, it likely would have changed the trajectory of my life. And I likely would not have done all of the things that I thought that or that I have done so far that I'm happy that I did. So with that, I wanted just us to get into this conversation about our good sis Ashanti and Nelly. We talked about them previously about how Ashanti spun the block, right? And they came back together after all of these years. And now word on the street is that our good sis Ashanti is pregnant, that she is expecting her first child with Nelly. And in case y'all didn't know, because she looks so good, Ashanti is 43 years old, y'all. 43. And I know sis does not look 43 because her body is bodying, right? And she looks so amazing and gorgeous and just she doesn't look whatever we would expect 43 to look like, right? And so that's where we want to begin this conversation. Age ain't nothing but a number because what we did see Ashanti do over the years is we've been seeing Ashanti live her life, right? Like people are constantly saying how like Ashanti's always on vacation. Every time we turn around, she's in the Bahamas, she's somewhere in her bikini enjoying life. And I love that for her, right? I'm not sure. Of course, I don't know what her private conversations were or what kind of pressure she may have been putting on herself in order for her to, find a man, get married, have kids, all of those things. However, it does appear from the outside looking in that sis just decided she was going to live her life and take her time. And it just so happened that this relationship with Nelly came back around. She was open to it. And now it looks like she's expecting her very first child at 43 years old. To me, that's inspiring for a number of reasons. But really, the main one is that, again, how many women are saying to themselves, oh, I am, 35 years old or even 40 years old. I don't have any kids yet. I haven't found a man yet. I don't, doesn't look like I'm getting married anytime soon. And you're really counting yourself out. You're counting yourself out because you're counting your number. You're looking at your number as a way for you to dictate or determine what is possible for you. And so if that's you, sis, if you're looking at your age and you started crossing stuff off your list, like, I guess marriage is out of the question for me. I guess kids are out of the question for me. I want this show to inspire you and encourage you and empower you to know that age does not have to be a limitation for you. Okay. Especially when you are doing the work to ensure that you're aging gracefully, right? Like, again, for those of us who are, we may not have had children yet, but we're older, or we haven't got married yet, or just certain things in life we haven't done yet. One of the best things that you can do for yourself right now in this moment is to make sure that you're taking good care of yourself, right? if you're taking good care of yourself, right? You're eating well, you're moving your body regularly, you are being mindful of what you're consuming, you're being mindful of your mental health, your emotional health, your physical health, your spiritual health. Anything can happen. You could literally go from being unmarried to not having any kids to not owning a business to not having a house, and all of those things could change for you in a year. All of it. Like life could look totally different in a year, and your age doesn't have to have anything to do with it. So I definitely want to encourage us again today to like throw out that clock that's ticking in your ear. Just throw it out because it's causing you unnecessary stress and anxiety and pressure, and it's causing you to give up on your dreams and your goals. It's causing you to doubt yourself. I started the show earlier saying this time of year is a year where we see kids imagining. It's a year where people are talking about miracles and blessings and how good God is. And so let us all lean into this and embrace this idea of imagining the possibilities for our lives, for us to not limit ourselves to what we believe is realistic based on what science or society says is possible for us at a certain age. Let us become more limitless in our beliefs and also in our ideas and our dreams. Like expand your vision, sis. Don't start shrinking your vision and your dreams because you're getting older. Keep your dreams big. Keep your visions big because anything is possible for you. And like I said, we have examples from women all over the place every day who are showing us that age does not have to be a limitation for you. Not from how you look to how you move to what you do to what you create. You can still have babies after 40. You can still find love after 60. My grandmother is a testament to that. My grandmother got remarried in her 60s, I believe, and her husband was in his 90s. Yes, for them, right? Like my grandmother didn't sit down and say, "Oh, I'm 60 years old. I give up on love. I'm close myself off to that option in life." No, my grandmother remained open, and she found the love of her life at that age. So I want us to stay open, but mostly, if there's anything I can say, is not only stay open, but keep living, right? Don't start again like putting yourself in a shell, putting yourself in a box, hiding yourself away, distancing yourself from opportunities and people and things because you look out in the world and you see other people achieving things sooner than you are. Don't do that to yourself. Know that your life has a purpose. Know that you have a specific journey that God has you on, and that even though it may seem like you're late, you're actually right on time. And when you do receive the things that you're praying for, you'll also appreciate that it took longer because there was wisdom that you gained along the way. There was faith that you gained along the way. There are skills that you're gaining right now that are going to help you to sustain and maintain and grow the blessings that you are praying for. So allow yourself to have time. Some of us started a little bit later in life, right? If we're honest with ourselves, some of us experienced some traumas in our childhood that we needed to heal from before we allow ourselves to experience certain things, right? If it was up to us, we would have certain things and we would totally and completely sabotage them right now because we are not yet healed from the things that we've been through. The past is still weighing on us, it's still holding us down, it's still impacting our thoughts, our emotions, our relationships. And so I just want to encourage us to again embrace the journey that you're on, and don't keep letting every time a birthday comes along, don't ever let your birthday cause you to start shrinking yourself, start dimming your light, start limiting your beliefs about what you are capable of, because anything really truly is possible. And with that, I want to share with you some more stories of women who have, again, defied the odds, starting with pregnancy, because again, I think that's like one of the bigger things that women are checking our biological clock for, right? Like we're definitely like feeling the pressure when we reach a certain age and we haven't had a child yet. And so Halle Berry welcomed her first child at 41 and then gave birth to her younger son when she was 47. So again, like women are still having babies in their 40s, close to their 50s, and still having healthy babies and healthy births. Okay. So if you has not yet happened for you and you just hit 40 years old, know that it's still possible for you, sis. Don't count it out if it's actually something that you want. Salma Hayek, I love this quote from Salma Hayek. She said, I thought I was going to need help getting pregnant, and I didn't after she gave birth to her daughter when she was 41 years old. She thought she was going to need help, but she didn't. In the 2009 interview with Let 'em D, Hayek's pregnancy was complicated by gestational diabetes. Now, we do know that is a thing, but despite a nauseous 9 months, she said she wouldn't trade the timing of her pregnancy. I'm a more fulfilled human being now, and I probably wouldn't have been 10 years ago. She gets a better mother for being born now. I love that. And that goes right back to what I was saying about how, again, sometimes we don't understand the delay. But once we are actually blessed with the thing that we've been praying for, we can understand the delay better. Like Salma Hayek's case, where she said that she appreciates it taking her longer to have a child for whatever the reasons were. She appreciates having a child at 41 years old because now her child is going to have a better mother than she would have been 10 years ago. And that's real. Like, take a moment to think about the things that you have in your life today that if you had gotten them earlier, would you have handled it the same? Think about the things that you got too soon and didn't handle it correctly and then ended up losing it or sabotaging it or misusing it. Think about that, right? Some of us are praying for relationships, whether it be friendships or romantic relationships. We're praying for things, but we're not yet prepared for them mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially. I mean, some of us are really just not ready for what we're praying for. So I just want to, again, encourage us to understand the delay is not denial. And it's not too late. You're not too old. There is still time. Keep hope alive. Hope is one of the most powerful things that we have. Because once we stop hoping, once we stop dreaming, then we start settling, right? We start saying, this is what's realistic for me. I'm just going to accept this because, I'm too old to be wanting more, right? Or I'm too old to be starting over, or I'm too old to be trying this new thing. And so then we limit ourselves, right? A lot of us know older people who are very, very set in their ways. And we know a better way of being, but they're so set that they don't change. So then you literally watch them limit themselves, right? You watch them stay in a cycle of continuous things that are not working for them when they could just decide to adapt to new things and learn new things, and that would help their lives to elevate even though they're 60 or 70 or 80 years old, right? There's no elevation doesn't have to end. You don't have to stop growing when you get a certain age. You should keep growing for as long as you live. And so with that, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back to continue this conversation about age ain't nothing but a number. You are listening to the She Wins Radio Show on 101 TKO Radio.
Yeah, this your boy Chico Fight, and you locked and low.
Hey sis, hey. You are tuned into the She Wins radio show on 101 TKO Radio. Thanks so much for tuning in with me today. So listen, if you are tuned in, I need you to do a couple of things for me. I need you to share this broadcast with somebody else. You have another woman listen. Sharing is caring, right? So if you feel like the things that we've been talking about today have been inspiring, encouraging, and empowering for you, share the wealth, sis. Spread the wealth, okay? Also, I need you to give me a call. I want to hear from you. 678-439-7419. Call in and chat with me about today's subject. Age ain't nothing but a number. I want to hear from you. Do you have a testimony about you defying the age odds, right? Have you done something quite extraordinary, even though people might have thought that you were too old to get it done, or maybe even you thought you were too old? That could be you went back to school and got your degree. That could be that you had a baby. That could be that you got married. It could be any life goal, any professional goal, anything that you thought that you wouldn't be able to do at a certain age, but you eventually and inevitably got it done. I want to hear from you. Or if you know a story, maybe your mom has a story like that, or your aunt or your cousin. I want to hear from you today. Also, I want to open up the lines. If you have any questions for me or any comments that you would like to make, birthday shout outs even, give me a call, 678-439-7419, and let's chat it up together here on the She Wins radio show. Continue this conversation. I want to keep us inspired and hopeful. We have a new year approaching us. And I do know from speaking to women within my community, speaking to friends and family, that a lot of women are feeling a bit discouraged because, again, they're checking that list, right? They're checking that list over and over of the things that they want to accomplish in life. And some are feeling discouraged because another year has passed by and they have yet to accomplish a specific goal that they have in mind. And so if that is you, I just want to again encourage you to know that it's not too late and you're not too old. Another year is approaching us, and this is yet another year, another opportunity for you to reach your goal. So keep hope alive, sis. It's not over yet. And with that, I want to share with you some other women who have been defying these age odds, right? These women who have been succeeding on very high levels a little later on in life, and they are inspiration to us all. So Natalie Bazille, if you're not familiar with her, she revised her novel Queen Sugar. We should all be familiar with Queen Sugar. It was on OWN. It was a book first, you all. And so she revised her novel Queen Sugar 13 times before publishing it in 2014 at age 47. I would say that again. She revised her novel 13 times before finally publishing it in 2014 at age 47. That's inspiring for lots of reasons. One of the things that pops up in my head is how many of us we're in a rush to do things, a rush to produce something, a rush to get something out. And we don't allow ourselves enough time to really master that thing or perfect that thing or to get it exactly the way we like it, right? Like we might be writing a book and we just know like there's another chapter in us. We know that we can expand on the chapter, or we're working towards, again, a specific goal, and we're in such a rush to get there that we don't allow ourselves to do it with excellence. And that means so we produce it and we get it out there, but is it going to have as much of an impact as it would have if we would have taken our time? And so clearly this is a testament to the fact that she took her time with her book. She didn't say, I'm just going to write a book for the sake of writing a book and become an author. I'm going to get this book just right. I'm going to get it where I feel good about what I'm producing and that I'm satisfied with what I'm putting out there. And so after 13 edits, she finally published it at 47 years old. In 2016, 2 years later, it debuted as a TV series on OWN. She recently released We Are Each Other's Harvest, a collection of essays and interviews that celebrate African American farmers. So shout out to Natalie Bazille, who is not 54 years old, for going after her dreams at 47. It's not too late. You're not too old, sis. Your gifts are still qualified, okay? Your talents are still eligible for you to win. It's not too late, okay? Moving on. You may be or may not be familiar with Instagram influencer Tanil Murphy. She is a signature. She has signature silver tresses. You may have seen her and not known her name, but she has lives a fit and fabulous lifestyle. Has over 190,000 Instagram followers, as well as a popular blog and YouTube channel. She has landed collaborations with a number of brands, such as curating a line of skincare products with Tula and clothing capsules with Amazon. She's been featured in Health Magazine and recently left her job as a corporate flight attendant to be a full-time blogger and content creator at 43. Y'all. Sis said she's done working for other people. She's going for her passions. She's going to start a blog. She's going to be a social media influencer. And she did that thing at 43. So again, some of us are sitting in jobs that we know is a dead end job. We're tired of going in this place. We're tired of dealing with these people. We've reached the ceiling. There is no more growth past where we are, and we're saying it's too late for me to start over. It's too late for me to get another job. It's too late for me to pursue something else. It's not too late, sis. It doesn't matter how long you've been doing something. It doesn't matter how long you've been somewhere. If you want to move, then move. What good does it serve you to get to the end of your life knowing that you had more inside of you and you never pursued it? You have more interests, more passions, more gifts, and you never pursued it. What good is that? Just to be able to say, well, I stayed at the same job for 60 years. I stayed in the same relationship for 60 years. You're not happy though. So why not give yourself a chance to start over if that is what your soul and spirit are calling for you to do? Okay. The next one I want to mention is Wendy Ida. Fitness expert Wendy Ida is body goals for any woman of any age. She set the Guinness World Record as the oldest active instructor in multiple disciplines, and she can do 37 burpees in 1 minute. Y'all, I can't do one burpee in 1 minute. Okay. Deemed America's #1 expert on living fit, fierce, and fabulous after 40, Ida is also an author and motivational speaker who has toured with actors Boris Kojo and Nicole Artie Parker. And next time you think it's too late for you to start your own fitness journey, remember she didn't start her exercise regime until she was 43. The inspiration is overflowing, right? Like some of us again are saying it's too late. Like I let my body go downhill. Like I didn't work out, and now I don't have the energy. I don't have the strength. It's not too late. Start where you are with what you have. For you, that might look like maybe you haven't worked out in years. Maybe your bones are a little crickety. Maybe you don't feel like, you have the energy or the strength to do a whole lot. Okay, well then start with doing a little. Get out there and start walking. Start lifting a 5-pound weight. You know what I mean? Like just begin and take yourself on a journey of transforming and growing and strengthening yourself from where you are. It's not too late. We don't have to live in regret. I don't care what age you are. If you have regrets about anything in your life in this very moment, you have the choice right now to change that. What do you regret not doing in your life? Do you regret not going to school and getting a degree? Do you regret not starting a business? Do you regret not being more social and meeting new people? Do you regret not working out as often as you should have when you were younger? Do you regret not taking better care of your body? If you have any regrets right now, you can choose right now to change the course of your life, change your direction, do it better now. Start doing better right now. You don't have to live or die with regret. Change the course of your life. It's not too late. You're not too old. Okay, so the next one I want to talk about is Carla Hall. Before she became a superstar chef in her mid-40s, Hall worked as an accountant and later as a runway model in Europe. She discovered a passion for cooking and eventually returned to the United States to launch her culinary arts career. Hall's big break came in 2008 when she was a finalist on the reality TV series Top Chef. With her trademark shout, hooty hoo, and standout personality, Hall was on the show for 3 seasons and was voted as a fan favorite. In 2011, Hall joined the cast of the daily lifestyle show for foodies, The Chew. She's a motivational speaker and author of several cookbooks, including Carla Hall's Soul Food Every Day in Celebration. 57 years old. She started in her mid-40s. It's not too late. You're not too old. Let's talk about our good sis Leslie Jones. Y'all know Leslie. Leslie was in Ghostbusters, the newest Ghostbusters. Before 2014, not many people ever heard of stand-up comedian Leslie Jones, even though she'd been in the business more than 20 years. Ooh, now see, that's the one. Some of us have been trying to get to our breakthrough, make our big break for years. And we're feeling tired. We're feeling like nobody sees us, nobody appreciates us, nobody values the body of our work, right? Some of us are on the edge of saying, okay, I'm done. I've been out here for years and years and years, singing, dancing, making people laugh, cooking, empowering, whatever it may be. I've been out here doing this same thing, trying to make an impact in the world, and I have not received my flowers. I have not received any awards, any accolades. I can't seem to get past where I am. Leslie Jones spent 20 years being in the business before she finally got her big break. It's not too late. You're not too old. At the age of 47, Jones joined the cast of Saturday Night Live and will go on to receive several Emmy nods. She has appeared in several films, including Train Masterminds, and of course, as I mentioned, the all-female remake of Ghostbusters. And she was invited to contribute to NBC's Olympics coverage in 2016-2018. So, sis, it's not too late. You're not too old. Your time will come. Your time will come. Your time will come. Now, this woman here, she's probably really about to blow your mind. Estella Mims Pyfrom launched a mobile learning lab for underserved communities in Florida's Palm Beach County in 2009 when she was 72 years old. Nelson said, wow. Wow is right. I mean, I think that it's not too late and you're not too old. Sis launched a business, a whole mobile learning lab at 72 years old. She used about $900,000 of her retirement savings. Shout out to her for having $900,000 in retirement savings. That's a big deal. And her 30 plus years of experience as an educator, she created Estella's Brilliant Bus to provide self-paced education opportunities for children and their families. She has received recognition from Oprah Magazine, CNN, Essence, and more. In 2017, at the age of 80, she published her first book. Y'all, listen, it's not too late. You're not too old. It's not too late. I mean, I'm like fully inspired reading these stories to you all. The last one that I want to mention, though, is Viola Davis. We know Viola. We love Viola, right? I mean, what is there not to love about Viola Davis? She definitely is Black girl magic. She is definitely representing for the authenticity of Black women, of us showing up as ourselves, knowing that we are enough with our natural hair, with our dark skin. Sis is talented in all of her glory, and we love that for her. Deshaun said, okay, 900,000. Yes, listen, we should all be aspiring to that. It's not too late. Listen, I need to get my retirement savings up. I want to have $900,000 in the bank when I'm 72. That is goals, big goals, okay? And that was some of her money that she invested in the business. So I'm quite sure sis had a whole bunch more. Go ahead for her. But Viola Davis was 49 when she landed the part as Annalise Keating on ABC's How to Get Away with Murder. Y'all, I love How to Get Away with Murder. I love that show. I binge watched that show. 49 years old when she landed that part. A role that she says put her on the map. So we know, if you pay attention, Viola has been around before How to Get Away with Murder. Like, she definitely played in like little shows. I remember her being like on Law and Order as like a lawyer for the defense. Like, she's been around. We've seen her face, but she hit her big break. Well, the one that she calls a big break that put her on the map at 49 years old. This year, she made history when she became the most Oscar-nominated Black actress, yet landing her fourth nomination for her lead role in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. In the past, she received nods for her performances in Doubt and the Help, and in 2017, she won the Best Supporting Actress Oscar for her work in Fences. And while Davis is often listed among stars who got their big break later in life, she was the youngest and first Black actress to earn the Triple Crown of Acting, an Oscar, an Emmy, and a Tony. Shout out to Viola Davis, who is out here inspiring the grown women. Y'all, you're not too old and it's not too late. We are going to continue this conversation when we come back. We're going to take a quick break. This is the She Wins radio show on 101 TKO Radio. Hey sis, hey, hey sis, hey. You are tuned into the She Wins radio show on 101 CKO Radio. This has been such a good show today, talking about age ain't nothing but a number. I hope that you have been empowered by what we've been talking about so far. We're about to now get into some conversation to make sure that we are taking good care of ourselves so that age really won't be nothing but a number. Deshaun said, as long as God gives you breath, never too late or too old. That's right, sis. Thank you so much for tuning in with me today. Thank you so much for commenting. I know everybody is not in a position right now to call in, but if you can call in, definitely give me a call at 678-439-7419. Or you can watch and comment live on YouTube or Facebook on the 101 TKO pages. If you are listening right now, again, I cannot stress enough the importance of you sharing out this broadcast with other people. The more listeners that we have, the more people who are going to be impacted by the messages that we are sharing through this show. And it's always meant to empower, entertain, inspire, and inform you. Okay, so share She Was Radio show out with somebody who needs to hear what we are talking about on this show every Tuesday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with yours truly, Coach Andromeda. So, as I said, age ain't nothing but a number. As our good sister Sean said, as long as you have breath in your body, it is not too late. You are not too old. And so, I want to share with you some things that you can start doing right now today to ensure that you are aging gracefully, right? Making sure that you are making the most of your life. And so that as you get older, you are still feeling healthy and strong and confident and capable of doing the things that are on your life list or your bucket list. Okay. So here are some things from Sutter Health. Oh, and before I go on, I did want to mention the last article that I was reading from came from sisters at AARP. So if you wanted to learn more about those women that I was telling you about who have been aging well and doing the thing despite their age, they've been defying age odds. You can definitely learn more about that from sisters at AARP. Okay, so moving on. I'm sorry, Sisters from AARP. I want to get it right. Sistersletter.com is the website. Okay, so moving on. Some things that you can do to make sure that you are aging gracefully are one, live in the moment. Live in the moment. I said this earlier on. We're often just on this path of just trying to get to the next thing, right? Like we have our to-do list for the day. I think some of us can probably relate to the fact that there are some days we don't even know like what happened to the day itself. Like it was like a blur, right? You woke up in the morning, you kind of just did do the things you normally do, brush your teeth, wash your face, take a shower, such, head out the door to the next place, do whatever you're going to do there, head to the next place. Next thing you know, you're home, you're going to sleep, and you're doing it all over again. And I think that again, adults, we feel like time flies a lot faster than children do because we're not present enough. We are just trying to check off things on our to-do list on a regular basis. And so we're not actually enjoying the ride, enjoying the moment. So live in the moment, y'all. Like everyone else, you cannot predict life every turn. So make the most of every moment. And I think 2020 was a perfect example of this. I'm like, if we didn't learn anything from 2020, we should have learned that nothing is guaranteed, nothing is promised. Right now, some of us are setting our New Year's resolutions, right? We're setting our goals and plans for 2024, and that's perfectly fine. But the one thing that 2020 taught us is that we do not know what the next year will bring. We have no clue. Nobody saw the pandemic coming. I know for sure I had events planned, I had travel planned, I had a lot of things planned for 2020 that got shut down after March. So, with that being said, instead of us being so focused on what we want the future to look like, how about we just make more effort to appreciate the current moments that we're in because we can't get them back. And I think that's where a lot of our regret comes from is because we're saying, oh, dang, if I could go back in time and do it differently, I would have. If I could go back in time and tell that person I love them, I would. If I can go back in time and be more present for that experience, I would. So let's just start doing it right now, right? like be present in this very moment, taking the sights, the sounds, the feelings, the emotion, the environment, the people, the love, the joy, everything that you're experiencing in this moment. Just take it and be present for it. Don't be in a rush to get to the next thing. The next thing is forgive yourself and others, because this life is too short to be holding grudges, y'all. Like, it's just too short. That stuff is weighing you down. It's clogging your mind. It's distracting you. It's just getting in the way, honestly. And so, if you want to be able to age gracefully, you want to have a few less frown lines and wrinkles. Start forgiving people, okay? Like, just let it go, because we know the saying black don't crack, but I'm trying to tell you, when you have a bitter spirit, when you are angry all the time, when you carry a lot of unforgiveness in your heart, that black gonna crack, y'all. It's gonna crack. So keep yourself looking good and feeling good by forgiving people. That, and when they say forgiveness is not for the other person, it's for you, it's really true. Like, it's for you, sis. Okay. And as we know, forgiveness does not mean that you condone what has happened. It just means that you relinquish the event's toxic hold on your mind and body. And we do know that stress kills, right? Like, that stuff, you don't have to, you don't have to see it, but eventually it's gonna show up on your face. It's gonna show up in how you feel. So just let it go, okay? If you are having trouble with forgiving people and letting go of things, you might need to see a therapist or a counselor. Ain't no shame in that, okay? Also, find humor in life. Don't take yourself so seriously. That's a lesson that I have had to learn. Oh, for a good amount of my life, I took myself way too seriously. Like, I was very concerned about what people thought about me. I was very concerned about what people said about me. I was very concerned about what my how I looked in the world. Which caused me to be very afraid of failure, right? Very afraid of being embarrassed. I didn't want people to see me failing. I didn't want to see people let people to see me as being, less than my best. And that caused me a lot of unnecessary stress. Now I've learned to laugh at myself, because the truth is, like my good sis Kanisha McIntosh Beresford, who was a guest here last week, said, like, most of us, forget most of us, all of us, we don't know what we're doing, y'all. Like, we know what we know about certain things, right? We have certain education, experience, intelligence that helps us to know certain things, like 1+1 = 2. We know how to put a car and park it and drive. We know certain things, but when it comes to life in general, none of us knows what's going to happen next. We don't know. We're just living and doing our best. So listen, laugh at yourself. When you make a mistake, laugh at yourself. Don't take things too seriously when people, are being strange. Don't take things personal. Like, just live. Don't watch funny movies, read funny stories, enjoy jokes. You know what I mean? Like, just, even when life throws you curveballs, like, just find joy in everything, and take yourself more lightly. Okay. Another thing to do is stay curious. Stay curious. As I mentioned earlier, as adults, our imagination starts to lack, because we start to say to ourselves what's realistic, right? We go out into the world and we try things and we fail. So then we start putting ourselves in a box and limiting ourselves to what we believe is safe, right? We stop dreaming big because we stop believing that greater is possible for us. However, we need to tap back into that inner child of ours that imagines, right? That believes that anything is possible, that believes that the sky is not even the limit. We need to tap into our inner child, because that allows us to have more hope in the future. It allows us to enjoy life more. It allows us to feel more just wholesome and fulfilled. And so you're never too old to learn something new. You're never too old to dream, to imagine, to hope for greater. And so definitely, if you need to, get around some young people, because young people will help you do it, right? Young people, we might think they're wild and crazy, but they will show you that life is just not as black and white as we sometimes try to make it. They will show you that there's so many new things to learn and so many new things to try, and that you don't have to be afraid all the time of everything. Maybe flexible in your mind and body. So again, we talk about moving a lot. One thing that I definitely talk to my 30-something-year-olds a lot about, especially those who are in our late 30s now, like, we talk about how we don't bounce back the same in our 30s. Like, a night out, hanging out at the club or whatever is not going to be the same in our 20s as it is in our 30s, right? We have a drink limit at this point because we got things to do tomorrow, right? We hearing some, we get about the bed, and some of these bones are making some noises we haven't heard before. But if you want to, again, stay as youthful as possible for as long as possible, you got to make sure that you're moving your body regularly, right? You want to make sure that you're stretching. You want to make sure that you're walking. You're doing more than just that regular, getting out of the bed, going to the bathroom, driving to work. You want to be doing things that are allowing you to work up a sweat, things that are allowing you to move your limbs and your joints and your muscles, and to be stronger too. And so as you age, you have less health problems. My parents are people who are heavy when it comes to working out. And when anybody sees my mom or my dad, no one ever thinks that they are the age that they are, because they still look very young, because they take such good care of themselves. They both work out. Neither of them drink or smoke. And so these are things for us to consider. Again, how do you want to feel when you get older? And when you're in your 20s, you don't really think about that. But when you start getting a certain age, you start thinking to yourself, like, dang, like I gotta be more mindful when I'm eating, because that food doesn't sit well with me, or I have to be mindful about moving more often because I'm starting to feel my joints getting tight. And so again, if you want to be able to be flexible when you're older, you want to be able to move like you want to move, you still want to be able to be young and get on the dance floor and do your thing, you got to take care of yourself. And then being grateful is also one of those things that you can do to make sure that you're aging gracefully. Okay. Learning to appreciate the good things around you, finding ways to cultivate gratitude, because again, life is a journey, y'all. Like, if you can learn to be grateful for what you have, you will have more. Oprah says something like that. I'm not quoting her exactly, right? But it is true. If you can learn to be grateful for what you have, you will ultimately get more. You want to know why that is? Because if you say to yourself, I'm so grateful that I have electricity in my home, guess what you're going to do with that electricity? The most that you can do with it. But if you take it for granted, then that means that you're not going to do the most that you can do with it, meaning that you're not going to grow with it. Exactly. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back in and talk about some more things that you can do to make sure that you are aging well. 10 habits that you can adopt right now today for your physical and mental wellness, so that age really is nothing but a number. We're going to take a quick break. This is the She Wins Radio Show on 101 TKO Radio.
two, and
Hey sis, hey, hey sis, hey. You are tuned into the She Wins radio show on 101 TKO Radio. This is your favorite coach, Andromeda, and I'm coming to you live every Tuesday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., bringing you information, inspiration, entertainment, and the game plan to win in life and business. And today we are talking about age ain't nothing but a number, okay? We are being inspired, encouraged, and empowered to understand that even though we may not have reached whatever goals we set out for ourselves yet, and I say yet because it's not too late. We're not too old. There's still time. Okay. My goal for this show was to really encourage us as we are closing out another year and beginning a new one. If anybody is feeling discouraged, defeated, unmotivated, this show is for you because do not let your age limit you. Do not let your age put you in a box. You can still have fun. You can still be successful. You can still make your dreams come true no matter what age you are. And I share with you all that there are numerous women in the world who are showing us every day that age ain't nothing but a number. It's not too late for you to have a child. It's not too late for you to have a best-selling book. It's not too late for you to make a breakthrough in the entertainment industry. It's not too late for you to have massive success. It's not too late for you to make a major impact in your community and in the world. It's not too late. This is just a journey that you're on, and it's not over. It's not over until God says it's over. It's not over until you no longer have breath in your body. So keep dreaming, keep believing, keep striving for greater, keep knowing with all of your heart that you're not too old and it's not too late. I want to close us out today with some more tips for us to ensure that we are aging gracefully. Because again, age only becomes important when you start to feel it, right? When you start to feel like you're actually as old as you are. One thing that my mother always says is like, she doesn't feel her age, right? They always say you're only as old as you feel. That's what they say. And so I definitely want to again encourage us to keep taking good care of ourselves so that as we get older, age becomes less of a factor for us, right? And so some things you can do is on top of, as I've already mentioned, get regular exercise, be sure that you're visiting your doctor. I think that when it comes to Black women, Black people in general, sometimes we are not as mindful about going to the doctor for numerous of reasons. And I definitely understand a lot of the reasons that we have, but you want to make sure that you're getting regular checkups to ensure that there's no underlying conditions that are lingering inside of you that may cause you problems when you are older. Make sure that you are sleeping 7 to 9 hours each night. Now, I know a lot of people be like, oh no, sleep in your bed. No, sleep now, sleep right now, because that's going to help you to have more energy. It's going to help your body to regenerate each night. It's going to save you some of those bags under your eyes, right? So make sure you're sleeping 7 to 9 hours each night. Keep a positive mindset. Do not underestimate the power of a positive mindset. Stay connected to your loved ones. Keep that love around you. Learn something new, like all the time. Be a continuous learner. I feel like you die when you stop learning, because when you stop learning, you stop growing. If you're not growing, then you are not alive. So you want to make sure that you are continuing to learn new things so that you can grow. Make sure that you're eating a balanced, healthy diet. Do what you love to do. That's a good one. Do what you love to do. Do what you enjoy doing. Prioritize both your mental and physical health and enjoy the moment, y'all. Health is wealth. I think we have heard that like so many times, that health is wealth. And really and truthfully, it is. It is. It's everything. And the older you get, the more you realize how important health is to your life. I also wanted to share that Black people are celebrating getting older. Getting older than we're used to. Well, I'll say it like that. These days, Black people are aging past 100 years old, and that is actually an increase from what it was at a time before. So I definitely want to shout us out for getting older and embracing getting older and being healthy enough to celebrate the fact that we're older, being right in our mind enough to to um to celebrate the fact that we are getting older. So that's what I have for us today. Age ain't nothing but a number. If you could live to 100 and something years old and still be in your right mind, age really ain't nothing but a number. This pressure that we're putting on ourselves to again reach certain goals by 30 or by 40. Like if you are blessed to live a long, long life, then you still have time. It's not too late. And although science may put limits on us to certain things, again, we're seeing women who are having babies at older ages. We're seeing people who are finding love at older ages. We are seeing people who are finding and discovering their purpose at a later age and still leaving a major legacy. So my word is as long as you're living, keep going, keep trying, keep striving, keep believing in yourself. Don't ever count yourself out. Don't ever limit yourself based on your age. Okay? Like it's still possible. It's not too late and you're not too old. I definitely want to encourage you to make sure that you tune in with me next Tuesday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Make sure that you share She Wins Radio with your circle of friends, your coworkers, your family members. The bigger that She Wins Radio grows, the bigger that we all grow together. Y'all know my favorite mantra is when women support women, we all win. I definitely also want to encourage you to visit SheWinsSociety.com to learn more about our social wellness center organization, all the things that we are doing to empower, encourage, and unite women worldwide. I thank you again so much for listening and tuning in with me today. This is the She Wins Radio Show on 101 TKO Radio. And until next time, keep growing, keep glowing, and keep on winning.
What up?